Yep, you know I do. What's going on? What's going on? Sports fans, Atlanta sports fans. Y'all know how we get down, man. 95 North Crew, man. We minus our boy Alberto today, man. Kind of busy, man. Have things going on at work, but we gonna hold it down for him, man, because Berto is Butter Pecan Sam, but we ain't gonna call
Not
him that.
butter
But
pecan. Damn.
we got a special guest in the house, man, Mr. Beau Morgan, 9290 Game. Y'all know I'm on Twitter as SQUIDBILLY, 9290
Mm-hmm.
Game. And before we get into this quick conversation, man, and y'all know we like to talk sports, we're going to hit y'all with the dopest intro out there. Because that's what we do, man. We talk sports, and let's get this thing going.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, we back, and indeed, just like my man Smitty said, we have my guy Beau Morgan from the morning show on 92.9 The Game. You guys will know him better as Squid Billy. So Squid Billy Nation, please stand up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know what's going on. Hey, I'm definitely a member of Squid Billy Nation. Have definitely had Squid Billy on before, having some Braves and Falcons and Hawks convo. And now he's back, man. It's been a minute since we've been able to have you on, man. But I'm happy to have you on. Happy to have my main man Smitty here. We're gonna hold it down for our brother Berto, just like he was saying before. And just shout out to you, Beau, man. Tell the folks what's up, man.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me. Yeah, man. Happy to be back. Like it's been way too long. And then you hit me up the other day, and we were supposed to make this work last week, and I just wasn't feeling great. But I wanted to give you guys, my full attention. So thankful to be here tonight. And hell, let's talk everything ATL sports, right?
Shout out to
Indeed,
our boy
indeed.
RJ ATL for life. He the four horsemen.
Plug
Um,
walk.
he can join us if he wants to. If you want to join us, RJ, man, just hit me a thing so I can send you the link. But Chris, go ahead with the topics, man.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna start off with some Atlanta Hawks, man. Can you believe the Atlanta Hawks are the talk of the town, man? It's been a while since we've been talking about it in a positive way, but it just seems like with the draft, a month away now, like people are less than a month away now. People are just having so many trade scenarios, and people are looking at what other teams are doing. In particular, looking at what the Dallas Mavericks can possibly obtain tonight with a possible sweep against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And last week, a few comments from 92.9, so I know Steak Shapiro and Sandra, they was on, and some other content creators, they made some videos about it. And now it's a burning topic about, should Atlanta Hawks fans have some draft buyer's remorse or any kind of way, looking at Luka at where he's at right now, for the second time, and looking at where Trey Young is right now and when the Atlanta Hawks. Do you think that is that you think that's valid for the Atlanta Hawks faithful to feel like that, or any Atlanta Hawks fans to feel like any kind of draft remorse?
I don't know about, look, draft remorse is kind of a strong word. I think
Mm-hmm.
you can look at it and question, hey, was it the bet? Did our organization make the right decision for us? There's a lot of similarities with Trey and Luka. I don't believe that either are elite leaders. And that's kind of one of the things you look at from that position. They're both kind of freaks in their own right. I think you look at Luka's size and the way he can move with the ball. And honestly, Luka plays much better defense than Trey. I'm not saying he's that much better because,
Yeah.
Trey it does lack. And
Size wise, though.
Luka's not this, he's not a guy that's going to make an all defensive team necessarily
Right.
and be like, hey, that's a first team guy. But he's better. Because he's longer, he's bigger. It's
Right.
easier for him to be better. But the fact of the matter is you can look at it and say, well, the biggest thing that I go back and look at is not this draft day remorse, because look, we've had our success with Trey when we were doing things right in the front office. But I keep going back, and I've mentioned it a couple of times, even when this topic came up after Steak did bring it up, and it's like, yeah, it's not that for me. It's that why did Kyrie and Luka work when Trey and DeJounte couldn't? Why did two guys who are ball dominant guys are able to work together and be on the cusp of a finals when our two ball dominant guys couldn't do that? And I think DeJounte, I have everybody. I get labeled kind of a Trey hater when I don't think it's very fair because I've also been a Trey apologist as well. I've been labeled a Trey apologist at the same time. I'm suddenly a Falcons hater after being a Falcons apologist by so many for the last 15 years, and I don't agree with one first-round draft pick, and I'm labeled that. But that's a later topic. But the fact of the matter is like I think that's the question for me, not the draft day stuff, but why did Luka and Kyrie seem to be working when Trey and DeJounte seemingly hasn't to this point and won't get a chance to go a third year? That's the question for me. And I don't know where you answer that. You can talk about the guys that are around them or whatnot, but there is some blame on this front office. I just think that we get fixated on it's all the front office's fault, or the other camp is it's all Trey's fault. In reality, Trey's to blame, front office is to blame, coaches at times are to blame. There's a lot of it's not just a simple, we screwed up the draft. I just don't. I mean, the Cam Reddish factor, that could be the one that really. I mean, there's just so many factors.
You got to preach on that. You got to preach on that.
Yeah, so that Cam Reddish so easy to say. We should. And I think that's kind of what State was saying. Not to take up for him, but I think that's what he was saying in asking the question: is it fair to feel a certain way when you watch? I mean, we saw Trey hit some big shots down the stretch in 2021 playoffs. Of course. Just like Luka. Hell, you go back and look. If he doesn't step on a referee's ankle, we might not be having this conversation. We might have hardware. So it's fair to ask because that's what we do in our business. But it's it's not. I don't think it's fair to be labeled a hater if you ask the question.
Right. Indeed. And, I mean, you got to look at it like. Oh, go ahead, Smith.
You can't label that as a remorseful move because everybody got what they wanted out of the situation, and the reason why it's working in Dallas, you got to take into account Kyrie is a veteran. He's a championship caliber player, so I think now. They put pressure on the Hawks front office to go out and get a championship type talent, somebody that can help Trey drive his team to a championship. And I know DJ came over and they gave up a lot to go get him, but if you can go out and get a championship caliber player, such as a Durant, such as a Devin Booker, you got to think about it because in the long run, they're going to look back on this draft as Trey never gets that player to play alongside him like Luka has. What are they going to say? Oh, the front office was a mess at that point. We should have kept Luka. I have even said it, that I thought draft night that it was a mistake. But as I look back over it, they fit in the different type cultures because Atlanta's culture, I think, would have been a little bit too much for Luka. I think the Trey fits the Atlanta culture. And I just think at the end of the day, it's about putting pieces around your star player. We see it with LeBron. He's always had players around him. Jordan made his players better around him, but he wasn't nothing until he got Scottie Pippen. Let's keep it real. So it's all about putting those championship pieces around your star player. Look at Dominique. Did he ever have a star player next to him? No, he didn't. He was the star.
And the only one I would push back on is LeBron in early, and I think it was 2007 when he took a team of
Cleveland.
He took us forward to the finals with him. I mean, nothing against our game, but
but we was on that team. I feel
that year. You know what? Michael didn't really start winning until he got Scottie there, who was I think Scottie Pippen's become a kind of a punching bag because he's a little bit of a goofball at times off the court, and he does some goofy stuff, and he's had some moments. He had some bad moments on the court, but you forget that guy was all world. I mean, all world defense, and different era too. Obviously, those guys. But I think you make some good points, Manny. I do think that there is something to say for the failures of the front office. That was the Look, go back to the DeJounte Murray trade. Who I'm a big DeJounte Murray fan. I think he's got some. I think he's got some tendencies that you don't see in today's game with the grit that he plays with. All that said, though, Travis Schlink did not want to do that trade. That's why Travis Schlink's not here.
Indeed.
That's when this franchise started. I said last year in offseason, everybody told me that Quinn Snyder was going to be the difference. And I was like, I don't know what you guys have seen. I love Quinn Snyder, but he ain't going to make this team 15 wins better. He's not like, what do you got? What was everybody thinking? But I just,
especially with personnel, it's been personnel for a few years.
Yeah.
So
and they made no moves. Jalen Johnson might have been an upgrade over John Collins, but where else did the roster get better? Because
nowhere.
And that's why this number one.
And I'm glad you said that too, Squid, because like you just said, where did the roster get better? And going back to Dallas, we can think about when they got better. First of all, let's start back in 2021 with Dallas. They hired Jason Kidd, who is still there. So that's one thing. Okay, you go get Kyrie. It doesn't work the first season. They make some sacrifices. They try to make some changes. They go get some pieces mid-season to get some pieces. I believe if they don't go make those trades, I don't think they're where they are right now. So regardless, it's been an ongoing thing with Dallas. They seen us go to the Eastern Conference Finals. They went to the Western Conference Finals, and then they continued to make moves to still get back to that place. We did not do any of that. The best thing we did.
But what's that old saying, Chris? Scared money don't make money. You got to spend money. You got to spend money these days to win. And they have that $25 million exception. I think they only spent $2 million of it. You got to do better than that, man.
Everybody expired in July.
Right.
Yeah, that's by July when plug walk.
I was thinking about like
the 8th.
Let's say like July 13th or something like that, or the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere like mid to late July. But like I said, that's pretty much like that's a waste. I mean, they could have used it. Yeah.
That's on ownership. I mean, that falls on ownership. I mean, the ownership is the one that pulls the trigger. And that's the other thing that we've heard for so many, last few years is, well, we're going to spend money when it makes sense. Well, really, because you took one of the biggest assets, biggest pieces they had on this team was Kevin Huerter with that team and left away. Yeah, I see Josh here. Josh is right. The PJ Washington thing's big. But, and I've heard people say, well, people don't want to come play in Atlanta. And, the criticism you can get is, why not? What do you mean they don't want to come play here? And the one thing that I said, and I don't enjoy, like, I'm an Atlanta guy. Everybody is my player that plays in the city. Why doesn't Trey get the respect throughout the league? I'm not talking about with the writers of the world and everything. I'm talking about where is the respect for him with the other players, the other coaches. Yeah. And that's where I just ask, why is that? And boy, you want to start a firestorm. That'll start a firestorm.
Yeah,
it will. But I just don't understand why not? And for whatever, I asked somebody the other day about we had a guest on, and I asked them, I said, why does it work with Kyrie and Luka? And we I think Chris was just pointing out with PJ Washington and these guys. All he said was because they get along, and that's where I'm like, well, what do you that's great, they get along, but is Trey not getting along? I don't know. We're not in there.
I mean, guys have won championships that didn't get along. Shaq and Kobe wasn't the best of friends, still won championships. Yep. Look at Kobe. I mean, Michael and Scottie. I mean, everybody is not going to be the best of friends. Sure, you can even look at Kawhi. You think Kawhi was close to those guys in Toronto when he got there, won the championship, then dipped?
Nope, not at all.
And that's where I come back to the ball dominant thing, where the only thing that these two teams have in common with the players we're talking about, they're both ball dominant guys. And why do they share over here and they don't share over here, or seemingly? And I don't know. I can't answer the question. I know that everybody wants to win. They say they want to win. It's hard. I will say this. there's some kind of lack of veteran leadership in that locker room when guys come out and you hear Lloyd Pierce, Nate McMillan, and then Quinn Snyder all say, "Well, we didn't come out with energy tonight. We lacked focus." What the hell does that mean?
Right.
Why do I hear that so much?
That's one constant thing. Yep,
that's the only thing I can think of. So I don't know, and that's not all on Trey, but at the end of the day, I'm paying the guys a lot of money. One of the high priced players has to step up, and I've seen Trey make guys look. Trey's an elite passer, and I've seen him make guys better. He was playing his best ball at the end of the year, when he got hurt. It's kind of one of those things where I'm not trying to go like WNBA on y'all, but like, what is Caitlin Clark? Everybody talks about how great of a shooter she is. She's a better passer. She's really elite passer. Angel Reese, everybody talks about, well, she has this attitude. No, she has some swagger. Yeah, attitude's a part of it, but she also comes in and, people can kind of resonate with the way she plays the game. They feed off her energy because she's not backing down. Like, those are real things. So, and we've seen from Trey early on in his career. I don't know. Hopefully we see. I don't know. Hopefully the number one pick. That's why I don't want to trade away the number one pick. I'm glad you can get an impact player for a good price. Hopefully, and look, the job of the front office is to figure who it is out, and if they don't, we'll have a new front office. We could have a new superstar, because I don't know if Trey's going to want to stay through, because you screw this up, it's going to be I don't know how I don't know why he would stay.
If he's not satisfied with who they draft number one, I can see him asking for a trade as soon as June the 29th. That's the day after the draft.
Stars doing this league. That's a star-driven league.
Player empowerment. You can thank LeBron for that. Good old player empowerment. Speaking of, guys, we was talking about pressure. How much pressure is on this organization to make moves? Like, the spotlight, the microscope is on the Atlanta Hawks franchise. We have to do something, or we're going to continue to be the laughing stock, this time in a more national spotlight. So, shout out to We Hawks TV, man. Our brother Damon, man. By the way, Damon is all out on Scar. On SAR. You can forget anybody else. If it's anybody else, that man is unhappy. We're just gonna put it out there right now. But I do like SAR. I do like Rich. Yep. I mean, I'm saying, he man, it's
another guy that I'm actually like looking at. I can't pronounce the last name. Matis Buzelis. That I'm actually high on, because let's say if they do decide to trade Trey Young, hopefully be around draft night. And like I pointed out to both Chris and Smitty, I'm thinking like Houston, because they desperately need a point guard, because ain't no way they want to really pay Fred VanVleet no $40 million. And he's like close to he definitely over 30 years old. So, I mean, if they needed a point guard, try to get that third pick, you could take Czar at 1 and then see what Washington does with their second pick, with his Reicher or maybe Klingon or maybe another guy, and then use that third pick. If Reicher's still on the board, you get him, or Matis, and you can actually get that different good wing player who could play alongside Jalen Johnson, who can great perimeter shooter, wing defense. Especially Matis, he got a long wingspan, so you talk about another rim protector. And I've seen some NBA comparisons. Hito Turkoglu was one. He's definitely a catch and shoot guy. Definitely drive the hole. And defensively, I can also see a little Andres Karolinko from Utah, Minnesota, just because of that wingspan. Because he definitely could help out with the rim protection, especially if want to go big. He's 6'9". 6'10",
about 6'9".
6'9".
Yeah. So definitely help out, defensively, especially if Clint Capella is like, traded, since he's definitely on the trade market.
See, now my only rebuttal to that is the fact that regardless, for the last couple of seasons, I'll say couple of seasons, including last season, we've been needing some front court help. We've been needing some depth. We've been needing more dominance in the front court. And even though all those players, some of those wing players are cool, at the end of the day, for me, man, I need me a big man. I need a center. I need a center that can move. I need a center that can protect the paint. I need a center that can catch the lob. I need a center that can play defense, and maybe multiple
we
positions.
haven't had an elite defender since Mutombo back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So it's time.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not prepared to go back into another season with Capella and Okongwu.
Well, I don't think you will. I think one of them is going to be gone. I think Capella will be the easy one to move. I think it's weird that we've seen the game. The game went away from dominant centers right after Shaq, for about what 7 to 8, maybe almost 10 years. Now it's kind of slowly leaking back in, but they're not the same. They're these European players, these centers that will leak out and do what, Joker does and that kind of stuff. So these guys, there's been like, for me, and look, I'm not SQUIDBILLY 929 NBA insider or anything, but they have really the game is kind of Europeanized a lot with some of the rules, some of the way they play the defense is the way it's gone, and how these guys will slide out. I mean, it's becoming, we have a 6'7" guard that's about to go to the NBA finals, and he's kind of a weird looking, he's a weird looking player. I mean, he's got baby fat and rolls in a damn freaking muscle car. I think Luka could fit in Atlanta a little bit because he rolls in a muscle car and
I saw that.
I mean, he's
got 69 Camaro. That thing was nice.
I can't lie, it was.
Odd dude, man. I tell you what, both those guys that year, both those guys were odd. I man, why couldn't we have the number 1 pick when Ant was coming out? That's what we needed. We needed Ant-Man.
Man, I'm telling you, that'd have been a slam dunk. We wouldn't even be having these crazy conversations. I'm like, oh, we're taking Anthony Edwards. So but I mean, in a way, you gotta look at it like this. Here's another case. We're talking about Luka. We see what Luka has become. We look at Wembanyama. We see what Wembanyama has done in his rookie season, and arguably, possibly should have been Defensive Player of the Year. Arguably. Now we have Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr has been a professional since he was 14. And that does sound familiar when you're talking about guys like Luka who've been playing professional basketball. Do you guys really want to take the chance of possibly missing out on not only a guy who's been pro ready since before we would even think about it, and then also a center, somebody who can guard the paint, catch the lob, guard the perimeter as well, and possibly help change your franchise?
Well, I will say this. I agree with Hawks TV here is that, I don't believe offense is our problem, and I can wait on Sarr to get offensively up to kind of up to par there if he can come out there and play. And a lot of his defense, the defense is, for me, the guys that play the best defense, there's a lot of effort, and look, he's got good size and all that, but there's a lot of effort that goes into him playing defense, and the fact that he wants to play it, that's a plus for me. And the only thing I'll say is, real quick, not to go back, we were talking about guys on elevating. You go watch Karl Anthony Towns his first 7-8 years in this league, and tell me Anthony Edwards hasn't elevated him the last couple of years he's been there.
Oh yeah,
he's got his deep, he's got his voice talking deep all of a sudden, and everything all of a sudden he's got some confidence in how he plays.
Right.
And I think that's real.
No, that's facts, man. You're absolutely right. Yep. I mean, Anthony Edwards has that whole team on a different level and a different swag about it. So if they was to lose him, they would lose everything anyway, because he is that team.
Too. He's so easy to love. Just hearing talk, man. I mean, he's
from Atlanta. What do you expect?
Well, yeah, I know, but you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know. You never know.
I didn't love Cam Newton when he was playing in Carolina, and he's from Atlanta.
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
You got a point. I can't knock you on that, man. So just to switch lanes real quick, man, talking about these Atlanta Falcons, man, we have 3 burning questions, and salute to my brother Berto. You know what I'm saying? He put his stamp on the show as well, even though he's not being able to be here. And we want to start with players who face the most pressure to produce in 2024 for the Atlanta Falcons.
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, the easy answer is Kirk Cousins, but I'm going to go away from that.
That's too easy.
Yeah. That's way too easy.
I think you can look on both sides of the ball. I would say on the offensive side, it's hard to understand if an offensive lineman is producing, but you can just watch the game and kind of like offensive linemen. They're kind of like DBs. You only see when they get burned, right? And so Caleb McGarry has some pressure, but for me on the offensive side, it's absolutely Kyle Pitts because I think he's healthy. I think he's mentally, kind of in a good place. He'll be in a good place going into this year with his knee and the trust factor after playing through a year. But I also think it's the first time he's had a quarterback that can that can give him an accurate delivery system in a long time. And he was a 1,000-yard receiver when he had one. And then he had a couple of guys that was more of a run-heavy offense and not as good at delivering the ball accurately and on time. And that cost him. It might have been. I'm not going to blame the injury on Mariota. That was a guy going low, but that's a fear for him now. Is in his head. So I think if he has a trust factor, he's better. Flip side, going the other side of the ball real quick. It's AJ Terrell. For whatever reason, AJ's gotten a rap in this season. He's not as good as we thought he was. I don't believe that. I think the pass rush, if it's there, will greatly help him. But he's given up some big plays at times, but he's also had some really good games. I mean, he and Clark Phillips just held Mike Evans in check here in Atlanta a couple of, late in the season. Almost said a couple weeks ago. I got caught up in the moment of talking football, but, a while back. And so I think there's a lot of pressure for him, going in, he's on his 5th year this year. It's a contract year for him. So to me, there's no doubt that there's some pressure on him as well.
Indeed, I agree.
I'm gonna flip it over a little bit. I'm gonna say Bijan Robinson. I feel like he could have produced more had he been a better quarterback under center last year. But this season right here is the time for him to produce. We talk about Kyle Pitts opening up the middle of the field. This is what you need to expand the run game. So if Kyle Pitts can dominate the middle of the field like I think he can, Bijan Robinson have a problem getting 1,800 total yards because he's just that type talent. He only had 200-yard games, the first 5 games out of the first 5 games and none the rest of the season. So it's just time for him to be consistent running the football. He did miss 1,000 yards by 24 yards, but I just feel like with the type talent that he is catching and running the football, I just think it's too much pressure on him, and he has to produce because just like Kyle Pitts, he's a key part of his offense. Last year, 3rd on the team in receptions as a running back. So he has to capitalize off of that at least. So I just think he has the most pressure on him. And on the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to go on the defensive line. I'm going to say Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett coming back from a torn ACL, and we got to see what he's going to do, even though I know he still can produce. He's getting up in age, and I think the young guys coming in that they drafted and they got out of free agents is going to put a little bit more pressure on him going forward. So I think it's going to be a lot of pressure on him as well. And the fact that he hasn't had a 10-sack season says a lot, at that position because we see guys like Aaron Donald, guys from the past like John Randall, who's about the same size in the Hall of Fame. So I just think Grady Jarrett has a lot of pressure on him because 1, injury, and 2, age, and 3, we know about the contract. So those are the 2 guys that I would pick.
Yeah.
What you got from Plug, Walt?
So I'm going to start on defense, and I'm going to go with I wish I could still call him AK-47, but I'm going to go with Arnold Ebiketie. And because what they drafted in regards to Bryce, with the Braylon Trice and Brandon Dorless and the boys. I mean, we traded up just like we did Ruka Coro and to get him, and this is like his third season. So he gonna have to like step up big and like, you know, go ahead and put his stamp on the defensive inside and show everybody who, like, you know, like this is his team, because if not, got those young boys we just drafted, they're ready to take over. So he gonna have to, like, you know, show like everybody like why they traded up to get this guy to like be that new face of the defense. There ain't no telling what's gonna happen with Grady Jarrett. And on the offensive side, I also want to agree in regards to Kyle Pitts. First year, of course, you had Matt Ryan, 1,000-yard receiving. Last 2 seasons, virtually injured Riddle. Didn't really have a quarterback. And now you got this season plus that $10 million fifth-year option that the Falcons went ahead and picked up. Yo, you got to show like why you deserve more than that. I mean, if you want to like put your stamp on the team, be like, hey, now I'm a tight end, I'm a receiver. I'm the best player out there. That's why they call me the unicorn. You better you better do your thing out there. I mean, attack the linebackers, do whatever you got to do to get open. Be that force just like what Julio Jones is. Because if not, you might be easy gone.
Yeah, I got something for you. And shout out to Zay, man. I see that we kind of on the same frequency, man. Hey, for me, it's contract year Richie. Yeah, I need somebody Richie Grant. I don't need to see dance moves. I need to see production toward the end of the season. I know he had like an interception. He started kind of playing a little bit better, and then I know I believe he also got benched. So with all that in the same cycle. So this year for me, it's gonna be Richie Grant. Coach has already endorsed you when I've been trying to get rid of you. I ain't gonna lie to you. But Richie Grant on the defense, I need to see something from you, man. I need to see consistency, because I have gone on once and I will go and say it again. I don't want him to be the guy that is getting targeted week in and week out, like how we seen last year. We got guys like Trey McBride coming into the league saying, yeah, I told my quarterback, match me up with that guy because he can't guard me. You don't want guys feeling like that about you. So for me on the defense, you got it's Richie Grant, man. I could go a lot of different ways, but it's just so blatant that it's Richie Grant and his contract year. He needs to step up and show why we took him in the second round, because at this point, I really have no idea. And as far as on offense, I am going to go, man, that's tough because there's a lot of ways you can go on there too. But I'm going to go with a combo of Drake London and Darnell Mooney. And Darnell Mooney, it's time for you to show that you had no quarterback in Chicago, regardless of what name was on the back of the jersey. Regardless of who name was on the back of the jersey, it's time for you to show that you can get open, that you can gain separation, that you can do better in Atlanta. Drake London, it's time to officially stamp that number one title over your head, because it's people, including myself in Atlanta, that feels like you still have a little bit more that you need to show. You've been great, but we still need to see more if you're our dominant number one receiver, because it is questions. So I'm not going long any longer. Richie Grant, Drake London, and Darnell Mooney are some of the guys that have the most pressure for me to produce, because we need it. If all those guys are producing, this team is even better than what we think, even on paper.
Yeah, the Richie Grant one's interesting to me. It's his consistency. I don't need to see him, getting out of position or that mental error that he has been known to make. That's kind of the one for me. I think the Richie Grant one's really interesting.
Right. Yeah, man. And also moving next, I want to know, we've already talked about the most pressure. I also want to know, and we all want to know, who will rise to be a dominant force on this Falcons defense. And I'll go first, man. I'm going to go ahead and say, I know we mentioned him earlier, Arnold Albercady. I do need him, but I also need Zach Harrison as well, who came on at the end of the last season. Now, he hasn't started any games yet. I believe that will possibly change in 2024. He had 3 sacks. He also had what is his tackle? He had 5 QB hits and 4 tackles for loss. I'm expecting him. Zach Harrison is the prototypical guy that they like on the defense. You know, some long arms can get after the quarterback. I'm expecting him to take a bigger step, especially like RJ was saying, with these new guys like Brandon Trice and Braylon Trice and Brandon Dorless. Definitely high on Dorless. I'm so glad the Falcons had got Dorless. Yeah, man. But with those guys coming in, just that defensive what we did in the draft defensively anyway. With these new guys coming in, I'm gonna need some production out of Harrison and especially Albert Cady. Albert Cady kind of got to lead the charge with those young guys, just because he's been there the longest. Right now, he has 6 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks, and 37 solo tackles with the Atlanta Falcons so far, with 4 forced fumbles. I need more production. I need him to be the doctor of all sacks. Remember, that's what when he was drafted, the doctor of all sacks is what he self-proclaimed himself. I need to see that doctor, because a lot of these quarterbacks need that prescription on the field, man. So I need to see him, man. That's where I'm going for that. What do you say, Beau? The dominant force on defense for the Falcons this year.
You know, I want to sit here and say, well, I think Grady could be it, or I think, you know, David Onyemata, or Troy Anderson's going to have that. But I'm going to go like way outside. Braylon Trice for me. I think Braylon Trice. I think Braylon. Look, as critical as I was of the Penix pick, only because of where he was drafted and for what the team needs were, I think Braylon Trice we might look back and say that was a steal of the draft. 3rd round pick, guy led the FBS the last 2 seasons and quarterback pressures. And I think he was second to there was the quarterback hits or some stat that he was second to Will Anderson one of those years. I think Braylon Trice is that, you know, he's a guy that got knocked because of the physical testing. And you can throw some of that physical testing out the door, because last time I checked, TJ Watt didn't physically test the best. And I don't think any that had what was my guy's name in Pittsburgh, James Harrison. I don't think that guy was an undrafted free agent, if I'm not mistaken. But clearly his physical testing wasn't up to par. I think Braylon Trice has that. It's not a twinkle in his eye. It's like a fire. It's like a flame. And I think he's going to set the league on fire. I think the guy could have 8 sacks this year. And I think when you think about a rookie pass rusher in Atlanta having like the 6 to 9 sack range, it might make you feel funny. It may, you know, it's especially for us. We're deprived, you know. We are Atlanta sports fans are like the thirstiest dude out there. Just walk around asking every chick in the bar what she's doing tonight, and that's what we are for a double-digit sack guy.
Oh,
so
man,
maybe Braylon Trice can quench our thirst, guys. I don't know. I don't want you to take it down that road, but I mean, hell, at this point,
hey, but Squid, you got a great point. You got a great point, and people got to realize his former defensive coordinator is the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, so he really has the advantage over everybody, even though he's a rookie, because he knows the system. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I definitely agree with Braylon Trice. And if y'all been watching me ever since the draft process started, I penciled him in 2-3 months ago, because I felt like after hiring Jimmy Lake, that was the right thing to do. Everybody wanted Jimmy Turner and Jerry Verse, but you got to think about a guy that's 6'4", 265, 270. He's a prototypical defensive end / edge rusher in the NFL. And in his scout report, you can see that he can slide inside if need be. So you get a 2-for-1 with him and Dorless and Ruke. So just think about that, man. But
don't forget about Big Zion either. That was a steal at the end of that draft.
Right. But it all depends on how he developed. But MW, the franchise player, that is exactly where I was about to go. And I've been actually talking about this just a little bit. Caden Ellis, a guy who came over from New Orleans on a new contract, 122 tackles this year and 4 sacks. He even had 3 pass breakups. So you talk about a guy that can move inside, outside, and with this type 3-4 base defense, you can see him and Troy Anderson end up on the outside, while Nate Lamon and J.D. Bertrand control the middle, because they did not draft him out of Notre Dame as a linebacker to just sit on the bench. I think he's going to be a special teams player, but I think he gets a lot of snaps because I feel like this linebacker unit is versatile. You can move this guy to this side, this guy to that side, and that could give a defensive coordinator nightmares. Offensive coordinator nightmares. But yeah, I just think Caden Ellis, I think he'll have an even better year sack-wise this year with Grady coming back and with, the added youth up front. So I can see him having a better year this year.
But if you go back real quick and look at Caden Ellis' sacks when he was in New Orleans, he's a very 11, right? Player. He got most of those sacks by doing what he was doing his job, by filling a gap, then other pressure, looping it in, and basically it was because he was doing his job. He was right there and able to really play that role. I think Troy Anderson would be the guy. To your point, Smitty, that is going to be used in a lot of those blitz package things, and I think you're going to. And personally, I think that Landman and Ellis are going to be inside, and I think Troy might be on the outside at times, and then you'll have an Ebiketie, Zoe, Price kind of guy. But I think Bertrand is basically he is special teams, but he's like a huge insurance package. But I think it's very interesting point with Caden Ellis.
Nate Landman.
I really I
gave him 1 year.
We have a weird defense, man. I'm telling you think about some of the guys we have in parts. I mean, it's interesting in some ways the way they look. So the way they've been built out. We got
that's a good thing though, because versatility. Versatility is hard for anybody to plan for, and like I said, man, you got these guys that can play in or tackle, such as Ruke, such as we didn't even talk about Zach Harrison. He had a real strong rookie season. So
I love the Zach Harrison talk, by the way. Love it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Zach Harrison, I'm expecting big things out of that young man. Big things out of Zach Harrison.
With them long arms.
Yep. And the thing about it is, too, guys, like with this defense, man, the league is going more offensively driven. Let's just keep it real. We need defensive players that's going to be able to get those quarterbacks, guys, DBs that's going to be able to tackle. That's another reason why you kind of got to think about paying AJ Terrell, because regardless of him giving up, plays here and there, the guy sticks his nose in there and makes tackles. And
but I'll be honest with you on that point. I will be honest. Depending on how Clark Phillips turns out, that could determine AJ Terrell's future in Atlanta.
Well, I think AJ Terrell's play this season will be determining AJ Terrell's future. I don't think that we will see a contract before the start of the season. I think they let him play it out. At least that's what I would do. I'll let him play it out. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve money. He does deserve money, but just let him play it out, see how he produces, and then let's go to the table at the end of the year and see what we can do. I don't think they should pay him immediately. I think they should let him play a season out. And if he has a Pro Bowl type season, then hey, it's open and shut. And if you don't, well, we may have a few conversations we need to have. Maybe
facts.
I mean, but that's just for me, for AJ. And I love AJ. AJ is a great corner. He's not a guy that you can just pick up off the street from anywhere. So, like I said, he deserves his money just from organization, from a logo standpoint. Just let him play it out.
And I love Antonio Hamilton coming over, man, from Arizona. He had 2 solid seasons the last 2 seasons.
Another
first 2 interceptions and physical corner that they love. So I just think they made all the right moves at the cornerback position. So we'll see how it turns out, though, man.
Especially not drafting one. But okay, guys. So with these new coordinators and everything that we have on offense and defense, how do you feel like this Falcons team is going to respond to the new coaching staff? Like as far as Jimmy Lake on one side and also having Zach Harrison on the other side. Not, what I'm saying? And you also have a guy who's coaching the team, and not necessarily he's coaching the team. You have a guy who's coaching the team. You have a guy now who is being the coordinator, and of course the defensive coordinator. So the head coach and offensive coordinator are 2 different guys this year. So that'll be a difference. But how do you guys feel like the team is going to respond overall? Start with Squid and we'll come around.
I think you're going to see a little bit of breath of fresh air.
Right.
You know, the new message, the way the new message will be delivered, I think sometimes can be awesome. Like I was a big fan of Ryan Nielsen and on the defensive side.
Oh yeah,
and you got to talk to coach, and you know he was an intense looking dude, intense coach, but he was also really nice, you know, human being, and knew how to kind of, I think, connect with the players. But the Raheem Morris is one of my favorite people in the league that I've ever been around. And he has an understanding. Look, there's not a lot of guys that can control a room and just walk in and own it. And when you walk in, Rod just owns it. He first thing he does is he looks at you and he smiles. And I'm not gonna do Rod's face, but he gives this big smile and he just energy. It's just contagious, y'all. I mean, y'all know that. Y'all know what it's like to be around people like that. And it's really contagious. And you just kind of go towards it, right? You kind of and that's what he is. That's going to be so different because Arthur Smith, you know, I'm not going to sit here and bash Arthur and all that, Arthur, but I think he was a different personality. He was a little bit, I think, in some ways, harder for some of these players to relate to at times, just because things have changed. You know, when we were growing up, there was a different, you know, coaches treat you differently, and it's just not the same anymore. And you have to relate to younger players in a different way. And Rod gets that. So I think that's not to say you don't have some old school, hard-nosed football coaches on the squad, but I think there's going to be a kind of balance there, right? So I think it'll be good. I think when you've been in part of something for so many years and then you get something different, it gives you a little bit of an energy burst, kind of like hitting that turbo button. You know, you got Mario Kart and you're driving along, and all of a sudden, you buy the banana peel, and then you get the, what was it, like the star, and you just take off, right? I mean, that gives you an energy burst. So
don't let me hit that secret passageway. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think you might see a little bit of that, and that might be good for a couple wins. I don't know that, but I mean, maybe it is. You never know.
Yeah, true indeed. What about you? RJ?
Most definitely. I'm sorry. What's our defensive coordinator?
Jimmy Lake.
Yeah, Jimmy Lake. Definitely. I'm glad. Like, when they finally addressed the defense, you know, getting young players, something like he's definitely like natural at, especially coming out of Washington. Just giving a whole lot of, you know, young talent and stuff, mold them, being that like that leader, even though he had that incident that, you know, kind of cost him his job. But, you know, people make mistakes and stuff. And then he also have that our secondary coach, also the assistant head coach of the team. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting names. To help guide them in regards to what packages to, like, you know, go in and stuff, and you know, help Jimmy Lake as well as Raheem Morris, you know, guide them in regards to, you know, getting the right schemes and the right, you know, play calls, you know, at the right time. So most definitely looking forward to, like, you know, how the defense, you know, grows and matures, you know, with his you know, leadership and, like, you know, situational, you know, play calling on the defensive end, on the defensive side of the ball, and, like, you know, just to, like, set the tone, especially like with so I'm getting names.
What side of the ball you on? You still on defense?
Well, RJ, I think you got a really good point with Jerry Gray. While you're getting another name, Jerry Gray is who you're talking about, the secondaries coach. I think that's a really good point. You know,
yes.
That was something they talked about when they came in here. Was Jimmy Lake even said how well coached the secondary was, and Jerry's a veteran of the league, and you know, Jesse's a big fan. Jesse Bass is a big fan of Jerry. I think that's a great point, bringing up Jerry Gray. That's really spot on.
Yeah, I said that too. I just think him coming back and being a part of this defense last year, he's going to keep part of that same type philosophy from last year from Ryan Nielsen. So that's a plus. And like I told y'all got to remember, man, Jerry Gray's been around for a while. If y'all remember those Buffalo defenses from the early 2000s, he was that guy. So I think these young guys coming in, they're going to soak up what Jimmy Lake is doing, what Jerry Gray is doing. I think they're going to find a way to make it gel, no matter how hard it may be. But I think the pressure on this defense is going to be up there, but I think they're going to hold up to the task. And these linebackers, I think, are going to be key, because if you can use these linebackers the right way to help out this front seven like they're supposed to, I think it takes a lot of pressure off these young cornerbacks, and this is exactly what they need to do.
Indeed, indeed. Good points, fellas. Great points at everyone around. For me, on the offensive side, I got to start with Zach Robinson, a guy who is, running the show. This is the keys to the castle. This is his show. It's no assistance. This is completely you, Zach, but it's still, your first year. So I think it's going to be a good transition for Zach. Why? Because he's going from one veteran to another. So he's also going to have somebody who can coach players up on the field, make his job just a little bit easier, also teach him maybe a thing or two that maybe he can tweak, because you have to fit everything around the player that you have in front of you. Matthew Stafford and Kirk Cousins, two different quarterbacks, just similar styles. So Zach Robinson I know a lot of people are kind of concerned about him. I've read it, I've seen it. But honestly, I think the transition for him is going to be pretty smooth. Also, he's with Raheem Morris. He's with familiar faces. We've seen familiarity. We've seen collective decisions. So just being in that environment, I think Zach Robinson is going to be fine, and the players are going to be happy for him, because they're going to have a guy who can dial up plays and a quarterback who can get him the ball safely, by the way. And as for Jerry Gray, man, that's why I made the video I did, like when Ryan Nielsen had left, and then I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Jerry Gray, because I know he was essential to that defense. We couldn't lose Ryan and Jerry. I really believe that wholeheartedly. We couldn't afford to lose both of them. So I'm glad that Jerry is still here, working alongside with Jimmy Lake.
Made that mistake before. No need to do it again.
Yes. And this is also Jimmy Lake, first time around. So having Jerry Gray there with Jimmy is going to go a long way for the Atlanta Falcons. So I believe, both sides of the ball is going to be, just like Squid say, a breath of fresh air on both sides of the ball, along with Coach Ra being the head, keeping everybody loose, keeping everybody, serious when it's time to be, and then still just making it fun. We've seen how fun of a guy that the guy is, and we've all seen his press conferences. He controls the room. He's under control. He's saying the right things, and he's doing the right things. He's learned, I believe, from the time we spent in Tampa. I don't believe that we should be still worried about that. I believe we should be worrying about now, and I believe going forward, we should have the best product of football ahead of us. So
and for people that didn't like the Kirk Cousins signing, and they talk about the money, which that ain't, to me, that's just average money. But you got to think about what he brings. You get a young offensive coordinator that's getting his first time calling plays. You got to go out and get a veteran quarterback that knows what he's doing on the football field. A guy that can command the huddle, that can read the field, that can audible. You need that from a quarterback. A young quarterback with a young offensive coordinator was not going to work. This is why it's good for Michael Penix to sit a year, and this is why Kirk Cousins was a must for the Falcons. And this is, you can ask anybody out there, anybody who said they hate the move, they don't know football.
Well, just think about that right now, is the fact that Kevin O'Connell, when he went to Minnesota, where'd he come from?
Indeed.
Came from the Rams. Did he call plays in LA? No, he didn't call plays in LA. Nobody calls plays in LA other than Sean McVay. Just like nobody calls plays in San Francisco other than Kyle Shanahan. That's who those guys. Those guys' identity is as play callers, and they've been able to manage a team, and that's something they've been able to do. So when we get Zach in here, why do I? To your point, Smitty, why can't Zach do to a lesser extent what Kevin did? Now, he doesn't have Justin Jefferson, but
he still has Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, to me. Drake London. He has Bijan Robinson. He has
Tyler Algier.
Very good point. I mean, so it's not like he has a bunch of bums and he's got Kirk, and Kirk knows the offense. I mean, I would I would dare to say that anywhere from 60 to 80% of the offense is pretty freaking the same. Like there's the language is the same. There's going to be a few differences. Yeah, like any offense, you have to change stuff up. But when Kurt walked in, him and Zach weren't like, so what do you like to do? It wasn't like damn. Right? These guys were on top of it. Like, I know what you want to do, and you know what I want to do. So, it's a good point. That's the problem is we got turned against these. And I know we're running short on. I'm running short on time. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but that's what irked me so bad about the Penix pick. Is I loved it. I love the player. I love everything about the player. I just didn't like the player after you. And it's not ridiculous money. It's market value.
No, it's not.
The problem is that after you spent the market value for that quarterback and then Darnell Mooney, I think you needed a guy that could play today. You didn't get it.
Derek Carr is making like around the same amount that Kirk Cousins is making. He's got $100 million guaranteed before we even paid Kirk Cousins. Come on now, like he's ranked 14th, if I'm not mistaken. If I looked, and then like with total money, he's still like 9th. And in a minute, somebody's going to come and knock him out of the top 10. It's not crazy money, man. It's not crazy money at all. But I know, Squid, in a minute you got to get up out of here. So I definitely want to get your thoughts as we switch lanes one more time, going over to these Atlanta Braves, man. And we already know. I just want to know, man, how much concern is it now, man, with no Ronald Acuna Jr., man?
Well, look, I mean, the easy answer is, don't worry about it. They did it in 21. No big deal. And it's different. So easy. It's so funny because they did do it in 21 without Ronnie. But, your GM either pulled the biggest rabbit out of his hat in the history of baseball, or he proved why he's could go down if he gets just like maybe one or two more titles, he's the greatest GM possibly of the modern era. And I say modern because you can argue about when the cap and the what that luxury to all that stuff is. It's an amazing. It sucks. It's brutal. There's a lot of concern because you didn't just lose Ronald Acuna Jr. You lost the two best players from a 100-win team in 2022, and because when I say that, it's easy to say Matt Olson was 1B, but in the end of the day, there was only one guy that would lead off your lineup, and he was hitting 40 plus homers, 100 plus RBIs, 73 bases. Right? Yeah. With a 400 on base percentage, I think, and he hit 337 or something.
Not to mention on a surgically repaired knee. Then,
so there's only one guy that did that, and there's also only one guy that struck out. Came within, broke John Smoltz's franchise record of strikeouts. Was won the most games in Major League Baseball. Probably had 3 outings that cost him a Cy Young. That just kind of inflated his ERA, and you lost both those guys, and you lost them both before June, and you're 30-21. I think 4 games up in the wild card. You're a struggling offense right now, and your starting pitching has remarkably carries you to this point. Your pitching as a whole,
right?
I said this morning. I'll say it again. You don't need to replace Ronald Acuna Jr. What you need to do is you need to have the guys who haven't been playing to their standard. And Ronnie was one of them. Let's be fair. One of them this year.
True.
But what you need to do is you need Austin Riley to come out of the slump as he gets back on the field. You need Sean Murphy to come back from the basically 2-month hiatus that he's had to maybe just give you 260, 310. On base, 260 average, and produce some runs, maybe some home, get some power in there. And Matt Olson, the sweetest swing I've seen all season was his home run in Pittsburgh on Sunday that went in the Allegheny, right? That was the sweetest swing I've seen all season because it was an effortless Matt Olson home run swing. Yes. See those guys to round into form. It's so easy, right? No, it's not. You're relying on multiple guys to do that. Your GM will go out and he'll get some moves at the deadline, but you got to stay within striking distance of the Phillies, or at least stay in that wild card thing.
I'm gonna
So the
be
level
honest,
of
ain't no
concern
catching
should be high.
Philadelphia. Not the way they playing. No,
Yeah,
I
Philly
seen this.
playing some good ball. I admit.
I seen this story before. Squid. Trust me, I've been a Brave fan a long time.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean,
man, listen.
I'm with you. It's but you know, if this is a team it's notorious for heating up in June. Now in the 21 season, they got hot in mid-August. Remember, they went on that stretch against bad teams, and everybody was like, "It's fool's gold. They're beating bad teams." Doesn't matter. You can beat anybody as long as you build confidence.
Yep, and that's exactly what we did. Built that confidence, man. So, true or false? The Braves need pitching now.
False. I think they need hitting. I think Ronaldo Lopez, Chris Sale. Look, I am not saying they don't need to add pitching at the deadline, but right now the missing link has been offense. I'm watching the game right now in front of me. I know you guys got it on y'all's TVs. We can't see our TVs, but we all know we're watching.
Right.
Fried has given up like 5 hits, but they've all been, for the most, other than maybe one, they've been garbage. And it's going to the 5th inning at 0-0, and I don't think I've seen a Brave had. Ozzie got a single. He tried to stretch into a double, and he got thrown out because it took a bad pop off the wall. But that was the hardest ball hit all night, and that was a ground ball down the first base line. So the hitting is what's holding this team back right now. I mean, Chris Sale is 7 innings every night. Every night he goes out.
Chris Sale is 8-1.
Yeah,
with 78 strikeouts now.
Max Fried is had 3 no-hit bids in the last 6 games.
Yeah. Hey, but I seen it coming though. Like honestly, like the start before his first complete game, it seemed like he was starting to like come around, and then after that, it was boom. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. I got because I'm a guy that's been on Max Fried, and if I'm on a player when he does good, I got to give him his props. And Max Fried has been lights out his last few starts. Chris Sale, same thing. I had many concerns before even a game was even played about Chris Sale. He has performed. The man was 120 and 80 before he came to the Braves. Now he is 8-1 this season so far. 78 strikeouts. 63.2 innings so far. I have nothing else to say, man. All right, Chris Sale, like you got it.
You talked about that rabbit out the hat. I think Chris Sale is just that. Chris Sale is just that.
Rex.
Yeah, man, that's what it is, man, and that's my pleasant surprise so far for the Atlanta Braves. If I could find definitely one, it would be Rolando Lopez too. Don't want to leave him out because man, I did not see that coming. But
I know he put Ozzie at the top of the lineup, but I just think Michael Harris would be a better fit right now.
Oh, he started lead off today.
Michael Harris? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
like
he's
Michael
going to
Harris
be the best bet.
I do.
Yeah, he's going to be.
I do. So when Ronnie comes back, do we keep him at the leadoff, or do we try to maybe put him later on in the lineup? Maybe 2, maybe 4, maybe 5th.
I think Ronald Acuna Jr. will always be the leadoff hitter for this team. I know the conversation is always about but he's this and he's that. Yeah, but what he really is he's a spark, and the offense was record breaking last year because of him at the top, and then you could basically they restarted the lineup multiple times in the way it was built last year. And honestly, I thought in a lot of ways I'm a big fan of Michael Harris at 9, and the reason I am is because I thought he got to see pitches down there in front of Ronnie, and I thought it would helps grow him as a player. These slow starts for Michael is frustrating because you know what he can do.
Right.
And he's an elite defender, and he's a hometown kid. So that that the people on this panel, speaking mainly for me, but I think I can speak for y'all a little bit, that we're always going to pull for these hometown kids, especially when they're playing our team. Yes. And it's like, I want him to excel. So I really hate when he gets off to these slow starts. And I know last year it got really helped by Marcel.
Before you get out of here, is there one player in Major League Baseball that you think the Braves, can come in, say, hey, we can go get this guy. He can pick up what Ronnie left off, and he can pick up this offense. Is there a guy that you think can come in and do that?
Yes, Shohei Ohtani.
That's why I just was shaking my head. No.
Look, you know what? That's a good question, Smitty. I joke because it's a hard question, and that's the easiest answer. There's a guy in Boston that could be available. First off, there's no Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm not even talking about, but I think that you could go get a guy like Tyler O'Neill from Boston, and he's not Ronald, but he's a productive outfielder that could come in, be a starter, and now you have because look, Adam Duvall is going to be really good, for the time being, but if you can get like a Tyler O'Neill type player, short contract, cheap. He's played well in Boston to this point. I know he's on my fantasy team, so it's an easy answer for me. But I think he could come in here and not replace Ronnie, but give you that spark. Da, I see you on the chat. You want Soler back? I think the Giants is where Soler's at. I don't think you're going to get him. I think he's a 2-year deal maybe out there.
What about this guy in LA named Mike Trout? Do you see them trying to pull a deal like that?
I think Trout hurt,
superstar player.
Too much money.
Trout hurt too, man.
Here's the problem.
Yeah, he's hurt. He's hurt.
He's hurt. Well, right now, he is on the IL.
Yeah, but he'll be back.
See, now when you do that, you just said you're not bringing Max Fried. Well, I don't think Max Fried's coming back anyways, but that automatically says Max Fried's not coming back because Trout's on a huge contract. You're going to have to give up a lot because they still think they can get a ton in return for Mike Trout. The consistency of Mike Trout. And now Kelnick's gone, which is affordable. So now you've altered your roster as far as construction. The biggest thing that I try to tell people, and I'm not saying to y'all, but when I had
no, we know. Go ahead.
When people want to say do this and do that, and I even got guys on my own station, I go, they're not going to trade. It turns into this conversation with well, you can't have all these prospects. Well, the reason that AA wants to keep Hurston Waltrip and was it Schwellenbach, AJ Smith-Shawver, they have Ian Anderson going to come back eventually. The reason why they're never giving these guys away is because it's going to be 14, 15 starters a year. You're going to have that many guys these days with the injuries. And so the only place they really have depth in their system right now is at pitching. Right. And it's not a lot even there, but they're not going to trade away. They would have to get a Trout, they would have to trade Michael Harris.
Probably Austin Riley.
Michael Harris, Kelnick. A couple of, maybe Smith-Shawver or Waltrip.
Yeah. They definitely don't want Waltrip.
And then a player or two. And I just don't, I don't, for one, you gave up more than you're getting back. I love it. I mean, you almost had me really say something that probably you guys have to beat that I asked you to beat anyways. I'd love it. But I just don't think it doesn't seem realistic. And not for a team that is whether we like it or not, or whether we want to admit it or not, is under there are self-imposed financial ramifications. Now, Eddie Rosario is a guy. I know that DA said Ahmad Rosario. I think Eddie Rosario is a guy you could probably get back, and I think you get back cheap. Yeah. And I don't know what you're getting back. I don't know, but I think he's a guy that if you don't want to give up anything, you could probably trade Jesse Chavez for him, and then they would cut Jesse, and then we would get him back.
Bring him back in.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Squid, we thank you so very much, man. I already know you got to get up in the morning. You got to go hit it. So we really thank you for taking out the time, for gracing the platform, man. Coming in, speaking to us, speaking to the chat, the fans, and everything. And of course, we already know we can find you on 92.9 in the mornings with the morning shift with Tiffany and Mike, I believe, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yep, indeed, man. But tell them you got one up on them again, because Squid Billy Nation has been in here gracing the platform while they out probably somewhere taking a nap.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me. Chris, as always, you and I, we've talked for a while, and you're my dude. DA, appreciate you. I see you seeing that. But Smitty and RJ, pleasure conversating with you guys on some sports anytime. Chris, this has hit me up. We'll work it out, and really enjoy talking with you guys.
Hey, trust me, the season coming, so we're gonna reach back out.
I'm here, man. Let's do it.
All right, man. Enjoy your evening, and thank you again, man, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Squid Billy Nation, Squid Billy himself.
Yes,
you guys
sir.
check him out in the morning shift, man. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be somebody getting up in the morning. Just turn on that Odyssey or turn on that radio station. You'll hear my man Squid Billy, man. But yeah, that was a good one right there, man. Now, what's going on, chat? Y'all still out there?
Man, they still out there, man. They want to come in and talk to us.
They trying to hop in.
Hey, man.
So
come
what we
on
gonna
in,
do,
man. Come
we
on
gonna usually
in.
go to 9 o'clock, so we're gonna let y'all in a minute, speak y'all mind on some of the topics. If y'all heard all the topics or y'all just tuning in, if y'all got any say so on the Braves, Hawks, and Falcons, y'all just let us know, man. Anything we've talked about. So I'm finna put the link in the chat, so y'all go ahead and click it, jump in and talk to us for a second.
Oh yeah.
And it's in there, man. So y'all go ahead and click the link, jump in and talk to us right quick. So we'll be off at 9 o'clock. So the last question probably gonna be about 8:55.
But back to when he was talking about Mike Trout. Let's talk about the Angels. You talking about not only that their offense, the team is bad, but their farm system is bad. So they need all the help they can get. So for them
they lost Shohei, so yeah, they got a lot to replace.
Ron got a lot of cleaning up to do out there.
Definitely.
It's bad out there, man.
Hey, we got one our number one call-ins, man. He gonna join us for a minute. My boy DA, man. Hey DA, man. I'm not gonna tell you no more, man. If you
you know what the new excuse gonna be. You know what the new excuse. Hey, Smitty, I'm coaching the defense, brother. I can't hold on. Wait a minute.
Just know
DA, what's up, man?
In progress, man. It's in progress.
What's up? Hey, that's all we need.
Ready by the middle of June, man. Everything gonna be a go, man. Man.
That's just 2 weeks. That's just 2 weeks away, so we good.
Yes, sir. I'm a defensive coordinator. I got a new dog, man. I've been tied up, man.
Hey, there it is. Sound like you just going up. Didn't sound like to me, brother, man.
I'm trying to, man.
Hey, man, you doing it.
Coordinators around the league, man. See who I'm gonna have my scheme follow out there, man. I'm thinking Raheem Morris, Jerry Gray, few Baltimore Raven things gonna be up and up, man. See if I can get the young guys to buy into it. But on a quick tip, man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I hate the fact that Ronald went down again. I just hate that for him as a guy, due to the fact that all the stuff he had to do to get back, and just how happy he's been to be back. And with Ronald being out there, we always feel like we got a chance. But to the Braves fans, I'll tell y'all something. The Braves didn't go over 500 until August of the World Championship season. And y'all know, like Squid Billy said before he left out the chat, man, in June, July, man, them Braves hit the skin off the ball. The Braves are the reason why that they got to spend more money on baseballs every summer, man. But and as far as the Hawks, I'm just gonna say with that situation, I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. I say you go ahead and start because like Chris and Smitty was talking about the last time this topic was brought up. If you talking about changing the franchise and changing the culture of the Hawks, bringing this young guy in, which is arguably the best player in the country. You know, a lot of folks want to see them go and draft Bronny to attract LeBron James. But as Chris said, hold on, this a favor for you, Chris. Chris said about a week ago, what does LeBron James re-sign with the Lakers, man? You know, what they give him a package he can't refuse.
And I don't even think he's gonna re-sign with them now.
Probably not.
When I saw him in Cleveland, that was my first thought.
And I put up a short too. And I put up a short about it too. About remember, it was a point in time to where Bron was in Miami and Bron told him to draft a guy. The next thing he was gone. He was gone.
Yeah. Shabazz Napier.
At the end of the day, this man can do whatever he wants in the league, especially at this time of day. He can say what, he can do what. He may not even play with his son. It is what it is, man. You don't need to be Bron is not even in my stratosphere to even be drafted at 1 for the Atlanta Hawks. So make it easy.
When he left Miami, what did he say? Home is where your heart is. So hey, cool, man. But last but not least, man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Y'all know out of all the teams in Atlanta, I'm a big Atlanta sports fan, but nothing bigger than the Atlanta Falcons. Well, Braves and Falcons kind of neck and neck to me. Been a long time Braves fan. My first Braves game was '95 World Series. We actually went to the game with my grandfather. Sat outside the stadium. We kind of got up in there at the end of the game and stuff like that. But as far as the Falcon, man, I'm just excited. A lot of folks are upset about the Kirk Cousins trade, talking about the money and the situation and all that type. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I'm so happy to have Captain Kirk in Atlanta, man. I mean, bro, I'm gonna just say this. For all the folks that are complaining about Kirk and complaining about Michael Penix, I'm gonna be honest with you, Schmidt and Chris. Hey, I was a little shocked when they made the pick too, but as we all been talking about, and I thought about it, man. This is for the future. You see what I'm saying?
DA, think about the last month leading up to the draft. What was the name they kept talking about the most in Atlanta?
Man, Dallas Turner. But now, me personally, I'm gonna be honest with you.
No,
they were talking about Penix in the last few weeks.
The media was talking about Dallas Turner. But when you look at what the Falcons did, NFL Combine, Pro Day, private workout. When you see them sitting in the grass, all three of those, that tells you where they're going. And think about it. When you talk about Kirk Cousins, 2-year lease, why would you want to end back up in the Matt Ryan situation with no quarterback after he leaves? It just doesn't make sense.
I'm
gonna keep it real about it too. Go ahead.
And to add on what you said, everybody talking about a dual threat guy. They talking about they want a Jalen Hurts type guy, Patrick Mahomes type guy, Lamar Jackson type guy. What Penix gives us is this new era of the NFL. Back then we had Vic. Vic was just that guy that can run the ball up pass. But we look at this NFL with the dynamic of the quarterback position changing. Michael Penix is probably the best move we could have made. We set ourselves up quarterback for the next decade. You see what I'm saying?
All those quarterbacks that you name, think about it. Coming out of college, he's the most accomplished. You look at he passed almost 9,000 yards the last 2 years, 67 touchdowns. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks I've seen in the last 10 years.
And I'm gonna be perfectly honest.
5,000 total yards last year.
Personally, I think Michael Penix was the best quarterback in this draft. I mean, here's the deal. The only thing that separates him, from the Drake Mays and the
ACL injury,
all of the quarterbacks, this guy had, we know he had injuries. That's the only thing that, people see, okay, he had 2 ACL injuries. But at the same time, this guy played for a national championship. He dominated college football at more than one school. So I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think with Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson and all the new additions, think about it, y'all, man. Look, the offense is like 2.0. We got Darnell Mooney now, Rondale Moore. You throwing Ray McLeod, man. They've added speed, and they've added guys that can go downfield and get the football. So all the folks who are upset about this, don't try to jump on the bandwagon when Drake London and Kyle Pitts dunking on everybody in the end zone.
Think about it. We still have our Julio Jones like they had in 2016 and Kyle Pitts. Can't nobody check him on the field. So they got more weapons around Kyle Pitts than we had around Julio Jones back then. Just think about that. Because we had just lost Roddy White the previous season.
Most definitely. I know other people probably always say that too. When I think about Matt Ryan and Julio, and just like the fact of having Kirk Cousins, you know, kind of like the great equalizer. But when you talk about Julio, he didn't have a lot of help. Roddy White was on his way out the league. You know, Tony Gonzalez was on his way out, still balling. But look at all the years where it was just Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. How guys say, you know, Matt was this, Matt was that. My personal opinion, if you flip-flop Matt Ryan and Tom Brady, if you give Matt Ryan the consistency that Tom Brady had on the offensive line, Matt Ryan will be a 7-time Super Bowl champion. And you put Tom Brady behind all these bad offensive lines that Matt Ryan had, and to me personally, the Atlanta Falcons failed Matt Ryan. Let's be truthful. That organization failed Matt Ryan because we had a great all-time quarterback that's broken many records, but never had consistent pressure, but found a way to go over 3,500 yards consistently. You see what I'm saying? Yes. So that's why I appreciate what the organization doing now. And man, I'm so excited for this year. I'm already ordering tickets to certain games, man.
Man.
They about to do something special, man. So, Chris, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you in there, man.
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna be in that thing, man. It's crazy. I already really had got an email from Fox saying what you trying to do. So
hey Mark, if you can jump on right quick with us. The link is up in the chat, and I can throw it in again.
Yeah, hold on. Wait a minute.
Jump on.
Hold on. That ain't Sipping Scout. That ain't Skipping.
Yeah, that's Sipping Scout. Yeah, that's Sipping Scout.
Oh, got you.
You know who it is. You know what it is. Hey, but DA, man, look, I'm telling you, when you get that thing up and running, man, make sure you holler at me, man.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be Atlanta sports, man. So yeah, it's gonna be up and running soon, man. And I'm fine.
Man. Please let us know so we can go and bring you on here, man. Talk some sports, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm working on my skill now. Appreciate y'all, man.
Hey,
no doubt.
You got it.
All right. Side note,
DA, man.
DA,
the defensive coordinator.
Congrats for Max Fried. He just got 750 strikeout.
Wow.
In the game. So
Maximus.
Yes.
Maximus Fried.
Good milestone on that one.
Yeah, man. Shout out to him, man.
Miss Krista Lewis, thank you for tuning in as always.
Yes.
Our girl Blinken, man, she always in the chat. She holding it down, man. She the moderator. So if y'all get out of line, she gonna handle y'all.
Exactly.
I know she relate. Not just playing.
But we can give y'all a couple more minutes and nobody don't jump in. We're just gonna roll out, man. This has been a great show. And thank Chris for putting it together. We'll be back. I'll be back next Tuesday. We'll have William Andrews.
Oh yeah.
That's the big one, man. So we're gonna tune in next Tuesday, man. That's one for the old heads. The old heads are gonna I'm gonna do it for them, man. And shout out to James Edwards and Lenny Taylor, man, for hooking that interview up for me, man. I appreciate them, and trust me, man, I'm gonna put it on for the city with that interview, man.
Make sure you got your suit and tie now.
I might just do that, bro. I might just do that.
Suit and tie now.
Man, I can't wait to see that.
Mr. Mark, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Hey, Smitty, I just jumped on. You say you're the interview where coming up?
Next Tuesday, William Andrews.
Yep. Next Tuesday. Yeah, we gotta tune in for that one, baby.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was gonna hold off, but since Smitty making announcements, you might want to slide by that Monday before the Tuesday as well, because that Monday before the Tuesday, we're bringing on Hawks play-by-play announcer, Mr. Bob Rathburn. Will be joining the 95 North crew.
Boy, Chris doing big things out there.
So we got some big things coming towards your way. Just stay tuned.
We working behind the scenes, man. We tell y'all that all the time, man. We do it just for y'all, man. And like I said, man, the old heads, I had to do it for him, man. When he reached out to me and asked me, did I want to do that interview? I said, shoot me the info. I'll talk to him. And man, I talked to William Andrews 2 times the same week. So he's excited, man. So, and prayers out to him, man. He had knee surgery. So he's a little bit, down. So
definitely.
Trust me, that's gonna be nice, man. And trust me, y'all, it's gonna be one to remember. But Mark, I know you have been watching the show, man. Give us your thoughts on the Braves, man. What's going on, Ronald Acuna, and how you think they're gonna hold it together while he's gone.
And to be honest, man, you asking the wrong guy. you know, I put so much time and energy into the Falcons and the Hawks, man. I don't tune into the Braves until October, you know, if I'm being honest. But hey, what's up? But I mean, but to be honest, I mean, we've seen this happen before. This happened 2020?
21.
Yeah, you know, that was the same year we won it all, right? Or yeah, so you know,
and we didn't have, you know, the Spencer Strider that we know now. We didn't have him then either.
Right.
He was on the team though.
Yeah, that's why I said the Spencer Strider we know now we didn't have then.
He was a relief guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, hey, in Atlanta fashion, especially Atlanta Braves fashion, you know, they'll find a way to rally the troops, and hopefully they'll use this to build momentum. I mean, that's the best PR answer I got.
I'm gonna throw another question out for you then. Hold on, Uncle Steve, I got you. Alex Sarr, Reichner, who would you pick out of those guys? Number one. And I know you went at it in the chat the other day, but I got you on here now. Throw it out there.
Yeah, hey, out of those two, man, I would probably still go Alex Sarr, just because you know he has that defensive versatility that the Hawks kind of need. But it's hard when you say that because you know, Richard Sher, he's also looking pretty good as an on-ball and off-ball defender. So, you know, if I
call him Luka Doncic with defense.
yeah. I mean, he definitely got a burner. But I think that's kind of the thing we ran into. Speaking of Luka in 2018 when we drafted Trey. If you got two guys even, you like both guys, give me the guy with bigger size, if you ask me. You know, if you like two guys, you don't know who to pick, you know, draft the guy, the taller, bigger player, in my opinion. So, like I said, out of those two,
like I said, Mark, we haven't had an elite defender since Dikembe Mutombo in the late 90s, early 2000s to protect the rim like that. So that is exactly what we need to get back to. And as I've said, every point guard needs a big man. It's just a proven fact over time. So,
yeah, man, we got our big man right there, man. We can go on here. I'm just saying, get a big man. That's what I'm just saying. Even if you don't like Sarr, go get a big man. That's just my whole thing. But Sarr would probably be number one for me. Then I'm gonna go Clegan, and then anybody that's 7 foot and above, because bro, we small. Bro, we 6'10" and under. Bro, we small.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is when you look at Edie, you look at Klingon, those guys would have went number 1 10 years ago easily. I'm talking about 7-footer. But what DJ just say? I saw DJ say had some on the screen.
DJ said before the live stream, I need Uncle Steve to play his sound effect one time. What it said, super chat. Uncle and the for real lad.
They had the for real. What you got going on, man?
Y'all.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing out there?
Hey,
everything good.
Wonderful, man. How was your Memorial Day?
Everything was great, man. Did big time barbecue. Had some folks over, enjoyed myself and everything, and just happened to catch the outstanding interview y'all did with Beau Squid-Billy Morgan from 92.9 The Game, and executive
Chris Boy, man.
Executive of the Falcons broadcast up there, radio broadcast. So that's what we do in Smitty Sports Machine, man. Smitty Sports Machine be hot. That thing be hot.
Hey, I got a treat for you next week, man. William Andrews gonna stop in and talk to me. So
listen. Congratulations, because you know that's my favorite all-time Atlanta Falcon.
I thought as soon as I got the interview booked, I said, man, Uncle Steve, I had to do it for him, man.
Oh man, I appreciate it. And I heard Chris talking about Bob Rathman coming on and get a chance to that. So if y'all don't mind, I'm a little jealous, so I'm gonna go ahead and announce my new person. My person next week will be Felipe Franks. I'm gonna bring Felipe on, and I'm gonna see if he can come. I didn't hear the enthusiasm.
Chat, what y'all got?
Hey, that's gonna be must-see TV right there. That's must-see TV.
I got a few questions for old FP. Old double F.
Oh man.
I got a few questions, so I can't wait for that one up. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes.
DA, I wish I could throw some on there, man. I actually in clean mode today, so I got the cleaner on there and did all of that. I'm trying to get it ready for the 4th of July, so hopefully we can do some things.
I don't know if you heard the question or not when we were doing the show. Which player on offense or defense you think they got the most pressure on them this year?
We talking Falcons?
Falcons.
Okay. Yeah. Dude, the most important position in North American sports, dude. Kirk Cousins. I listen. Let me correct that. It's a sizable contract. Mm-hmm. You know what everybody's going to be pointing for, the age, the injury, and everything like that. The pressure is on. He has seen the hot mess of crap that we've had at the quarterback position for the last 2 years when Smitty's favorite quarterback, Desmond Ridder, was here. And I know that he has to live up to that certain standard of getting a competent quarterback. All of us has said, I've seen you say it, Mark. I've seen you say it, Smitty. Chris, I've watched you walk up and down the sideline saying it. And RJ, you and I have talked about it. If we had a competent quarterback on this team the past 2 years, we'd be talking about back-to-back NFC South championships because it hasn't been that hard in the division.
Yep.
That's where it is, Smitty. Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Anybody on defense?
Defense, I'm really thinking, and hear me out when I say this. I don't want people to get mad. Grady Jarrett. Because I'm gonna tell you why.
That's not
about that earlier.
Sizable.
I talked about that earlier.
Yeah, he's getting a sizable chunk of money, and you can argue that it looked like in the draft they might be drafting to kind of fill his spot a little bit when you get 3 D tackles in a draft.
Hey man,
I mean that message. What my boy say? I mean that's. You got to start thinking about that. And I hope it's good pressure because Grady, I don't know about y'all. Have y'all seen Grady? Grady look thin.
Hey, man, Grady working.
Grady look like he could play DN, man.
He's going to play more DN this year, probably.
Yeah, he looks good.
Grady working, man.
That's my pressure. That's the guy I look forward to has the most pressure there. Grady.
I agree with that, man, because like you said, you talk about contract, you talk about age, then you talk about putting youth in there. So yeah, I agree with that because I said that a little bit.
That boy Travis Preston said, "Man, I thought Uncle Steve was about to say Desmond Ridder was coming."
You know why, Travis? Hey, Travis, you know why I can't say that? Because there's gonna be a 25% of the folks that will say, "So really, Desmond? He's really coming."
Right.
No. Can't do it, man.
Yeah, he'll probably cuss everybody.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'd be mad. Right. Then I'll blame Smitty.
Boy, that cat was smoking that night, boy.
Man.
Will need about 2-3 moderators for that chat that night.
Yep.
Lord have mercy.
I couldn't.
We got to pay Joy overtime for that one.
Well, what? For real. Like,
but man,
like
look,
real tighten up the pocket.
But as far as the Braves, can they hold it together while Acuna gone?
We just did it 3 years ago, man. I say the one thing with Alex Anthopoulos, who has been arguably the best GM that we've had in Atlanta sports probably over the last 20 years, due respect to Thomas Dimitroff and what he's done, what he did during that short period of time. If he doesn't know how to do one thing, he gets these pieces, man. He gets folks. Nobody would have thought the combination of Jorge Soler, Adam Duvall, Eddie Rosario. Nobody would have thought
John Peterson
into a championship. And I just have trust in him that he's going to wait this out a little bit. By the time we get to the trade deadline, make a move. Remember, we were a losing team when he made those moves.
Yeah, we were under 500.
As y'all brought up, as y'all brought up about Max Fried, 750 strikeouts. He's been balling. Sale has been balling. If you can just hold out, it's not like we got to win the division to do this thing, but hold out. Get to August.
All you gotta do is get in.
Yep.
Get hot.
Yeah, get hot. I think we're gonna be all right, man. I'm not concerned. I'm really not right now.
Hey, and the crazy thing about last year, my boy John Higgins said it from point blank from I think it was like July, August. He said the Braves peaked too fast.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
As soon as August hit, they was out of gas.
Yep.
So so they've got to hit their stride. And that's what it's about. When you talk about the Phillies, that's what they did last year. They hit their stride. And
it's opposite this year, Smitty, because Philly is on a world class.
I give it to them
right now, man. And they might be the 100 this year. So let them have their glory.
Yeah, take a little light off the Braves for a second, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't mind flying low under the radar.
They look like the 98 Yankees this year, but
we'll see. No cap though.
We'll see. But
boy playing.
Man,
hey, I don't like the Phillies, but I gotta give them what they just do. They playing.
Number one seed hasn't won the World Series, I think, in 6 years. I think it's 6 years. So
that's all right.
That's something to account for.
What that the Phillies too?
Phillies were number one probably about right before the Braves started this streak. I think they had won the division before that. But everybody else, the last few teams that won, and Houston wasn't number one last year. We weren't number one when we won it. Dodgers weren't number one when they won.
I don't think Texas was.
No, Texas wasn't number one.
Texas wasn't.
Baltimore was, I think, the top seed last year. If I'm not mistaken.
Baltimore, Orioles.
Baltimore, they lost. That was a waste.
So you don't need to win. You don't need to have the best record to win the World Series. Just got to be the hottest team, as somebody alluded to earlier.
Facts. But if any one of y'all, Mark or Mr. Uncle Steve, y'all got a question y'all want to throw out there, throw it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask this before I left, but I might as well sneak it in now. I'm actually about to go on a run now that the sun went down. But Smitty,
right there, brother.
But Smitty, I know you missed the 10K. Actually, you about to be missed the 11K. But are you open to any new name suggestions? Are you open? Because I have one suggestion that may hit a little bit better.
I think Big Low already done gave me another.
As long as it's not Yellow Smitty, I'm good. Because I'm going to roll.
Yeah, Smitty. You know, I'm a dude. I heard that. Yeah, Smitty, I got about 10 one-liners. I'm gonna wait till my next stream for that yellow comment.
Right.
What you got, Mark? I'm open to it.
I'm thinking Mr. 5 mil. Yes. 5 million views. I mean, to me, 5 million sound better than 11. You know, but you know, I just wanted to shine that shot, that spotlight on you, man.
Yeah, man. I put in the work, man. I was kind of shocked myself that I had that many views. Man,
we see you, man. So salute, and you already know, man. We appreciate you, man. Just wanted to throw it in there the next time I saw you. So
no doubt. Appreciate
it. We gotta call you Smilly.
On God,
my man Smilly.
Really though,
you get
worse.
Boy, that thing ugly.
Y'all, man. But definitely appreciate y'all. It's always good to see the fam, man.
Hold
no doubt, man.
Before he leaves, don't cut out yet.
Okay.
I was gonna.
Hold on, Mark.
I got one question about the Hawks, but I'm gonna flex like Mark. I'm getting ready to go run. I'm getting ready to go do about 3 sit-ups. So as soon as I leave, I'm gonna do 3 sit-ups for y'all. So just let Mark know that we all looking out for our health too. So this is for Mark. Hold on.
Hey,
hit them obliques now. Stop playing.
Hey, and trust me, I would stay, but man, I want to drop my little pre-workout. I'm starting to get a little.
Yeah, they saw get that tingle, man. You gotta get going.
I was say, gotta go.
Get going.
Hey, but I appreciate it.
Let me ask y'all one Hawks question real quick.
Oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
With the possibility, and I'm kind of on your thought when you were talking about Sarr as the number 1 pick, because a defensive presence not named Clint Capella in the middle could possibly be, a difference maker. Do you think that could change the thoughts of the Hawks possibly trading either Trey or either DeJounte, and have a starting 5 that could include Sarr at the 5, Jalen Johnson possibly at the 4. And I guess you would still have DeAndre Hunter at 3 and put Bogey back at his natural bench position as he should. What are your thoughts on that possibility?
See, the only thing about that is I like DeAndre Hunter coming off the bench. I don't like starting DeAndre Hunter anymore. He had 15. He had a 15 shot over 38% from 3 off the bench though.
Career highs.
That's what I'm saying.
Is he a volume scorer though, like Bogey? I think Bogey, to me, I think the one thing I say about Bogey is that he's always gonna get his shot. Yeah, and he's always gonna get the point. DeAndre is nice off the bench. Don't get me wrong, because I know last year he was great, but I mean that's
tough because I don't see nobody taking that contract, y'all. That's always been my argument. Folks saying let's trade DeAndre Hunter. Okay, cool. Who taking on that 70 mil?
That's
over the net. I know, but for his production, him, the player, the guy who is on record saying I work on nothing, is. I'm just saying, like, who's going to take that on?
Well, I do that one team.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Detroit
will take
anything. Yeah, they like Mikey from them Life commercials. They'll try anything. They'll eat.
You're right, but I don't even know if they even want to do it. Like I said, DeAndre Hunter off the bench, I'm cool with it. I don't need him starting. Honestly, I like Vic in the starting lineup over DeAndre Hunter.
Dang.
You know,
Oh wow. Oh, that's
I mean, if we're talking about starting, yes, I like him in the starting lineup over DeAndre Hunter. Because at the end of the day, when these guys come off the floor, I can still bring DeAndre Hunter on the floor. I can still bring Bogey on the floor. Those guys are going to be facing second-tier guys more so than the first-tier guys, and they'll be able to operate a little bit more. Veet, you would just have to get your weight up in some elements, but he doesn't play bad defense. Remember that 30-point comeback? Him, Garrison Matthews, and Wesley Matthews were key in playing defense against Brown and Tatum in that particular little facet, and then they had a little streak going on to where they were playing pretty good defense without Trey. Now, you got to still account for those things, man. You got to have some players that's going to be coming, but you're going to have to get some players out of here, too. You got Clint Capella, this $22 million expiring contract. Yeah. I really don't see how you keep him.
Nah.
I really don't see how you keep him. Double O. Do you keep Double O? I think he's a 4. I don't think he's a 5. I don't like
if you can get a valuable piece for Double O.
I've never wanted to start him at the 5 for an 82 game season. I've never wanted to do that.
If you can get a valuable piece for Double O, I would think about moving him. And you got to think a guy like a Laurie Marketing is on the market this year. I think he's going to be highly coveted.
See, now is he trade? I didn't look at it. Is it trade? Is he like being traded, or is he like
probably a signing trade?
Not a free agent,
It'll probably be a signing trade. It'll probably be a signing trade.
Yeah.
So,
So. No, but I mean, at this point, I think anything's on the table. We got the first pick. We control the draft. Hey, I think anybody and everybody's available. And I think we all agree. I think Clint is going to be the easy name to get rid of. He's on an expiring deal.
$22 million.
So teams love expiring contracts. So
but anything's possible, man. We a month away, so it's gonna be exciting to see what these Hawks do, man.
But Mark, man, when the season starts, man, we got to catch up. We got to do some shows, man.
For sure. Yes.
For sure. Hey, I'm always available, man. So I'll definitely stay in touch. And you know, I just launched my YouTube channel.
I saw it. I subscribed.
We were talking about it.
We subscribed. We already been talking about it, bro. We got you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So yeah, hey, so best believe, you know, I'm gonna be outside, man. I'm gonna be back outside.
Hey, shoot me your info so I can stay in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, well, I appreciate y'all again, man. Rise up.
Always rise up, content creators.
You're the man.
Yes, sir.
Our boy Travis in the house, man. Travis, what's up, man?
Travis,
not Des being destroyer. Lord have mercy.
The one and
I guess
only.
he talking to Uncle Steve. He talking to Uncle Steve.
Yeah, he hanging out with Unc too much.
I tell you this.
Well, that thing sound like a wrestling move.
If Uncle Steve can get Desmond Ritter on, you got $100 super chat. But I want a whole song. I want a whole song. I don't want just
out there for you.
I need the whole song.
somebody go tell Desmond about them sound bites. So he not about to come on this show.
Desmond was so bitter he didn't even say goodbye to the city.
That's right.
Yeah, he didn't say nothing, huh?
That's right.
What was he really going to say though? What was he really going to say? I mean, you don't think he heard?
I'm sorry.
He heard us hitting him with a pile driver week in and week out.
And Desmond had them light skin vibes. I ain't gonna think his name, but
I mean, he's light skinned.
Desmond got and I said it several times. Desmond was pushed into a position he wasn't ready for, and I blame that on coaching. I blame that on coaching. I kid about him all the time, but that's an Arthur Smith thing. Arthur Smith bet on him, and
he did. He bet the house on Desmond, and now he's in a new home. So
absolutely.
He put him in no position to succeed at all.
He didn't. I mean,
Travis was actually telling me about that because when the day he got traded, I think he was a little emotional and told me how much he missed Desmond. They had a little heart to heart on Messenger, and he was He was a little.
Travis like, yeah, okay.
Hey. Don't put my business. I mean, right there, please. I got a reputation. My kids look up to me, so don't.
So Travis, who you think got the most pressure on them, offense and defense?
Oh, offense, without a doubt. I know everybody. Easy answer might be Kirk Cousins, like SQUIDBILLY was saying, but I gotta go Kyle Pitts because has he really justified that number 4 pick?
I don't think the Falcons justified that number 4 pick.
That too. And now here you are on your 4th quarterback. You're going to a 5th-year option.
Facts.
What you were drafted at number 4, so and Julio was gone, Calvin Ridley gone. So you got to show us why we took you that high over people like Micah Parsons.
Highest tight end overall.
I mean, highest tight end drafted, and he's top 5. Top 5. That's an anomaly. You should be beast mode right out the gate. I mean, I know he did pretty good with Matt his first year, had over grand in yards.
But we talking about declining Matt Ryan. He still had 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
And you put him in a wide open offense like they're gonna have this year. Oh, I think he gets back to that ammo. Like I said, I can see him as a double-digit touchdown guy. Because guess what? Kirk Cousins gonna throw the ball to the end zone. Trust me on that.
I mean, when you look at some of the numbers that some of these tight ends have gotten the last couple of years, whether it be Kelsey, Kittle, Mark Andrews, these guys are going to the bank. And then you got a guy like Sam Laporta coming off his rookie year and seeing what he did, he gonna break the bank. So Kyle got to do something, man, to prove that he was worth that number 4 pick.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
Man.
Ooh. In fairness, also Arthur Smith, again, another Arthur Smith decision from what it sounds like. He didn't use him properly after Matt Ryan left. I think we had to go heavy on the run game as far as, and let's face it, we didn't draft Kyle Pitts to be a blocking tight end. And I think he tried to make him an overall player. And sometimes you have to stop kidding yourself and say, we didn't bring Kyle Pitts in here to be a blocking tight end. We brought him to be Travis Kelce, Kittle, Andrews. He's here to catch the ball. And I think we used him incorrectly, Smitty. And
that lets you know though, if he didn't see the mismatches on the field in the film room and then go translate that to game day, that tell you about him as an offensive coordinator about being able to read film and get the players to buy in the way he's doing. Because one Sunday, any Sunday, Kyle Pitts on the outside of the X. Next Sunday, he inline. Next Sunday, he probably H-back. Next Sunday, he probably the wide receiver. So, I mean, you got to know what to do with that kind of talent. And I'm going to tell y'all, and Uncle Steve said it before me, when you got that kind of talent, you just got to know how to use it. And he just didn't know how to use it. So,
he didn't fit the
at
offense,
the end of the day, he failed himself.
Yes, he did.
So
that's why I say when people are hard on Kyle, I'm not saying Kyle doesn't deserve some of the criticism, but there's a reason Arthur Smith is going to be on the other side of the sideline,
right?
When we at the beginning of this year.
Kyle
Big Zay, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
What's up, Zay?
Represent, man. We represent.
Zay done finally joined me, man. What been taking so long?
Came on this thing. Look at him.
Come on, Dirty Birds all the way in the 410 Baltimore area. The biggest Falcons fan in Baltimore, man. We hold it down here in the 410 area, man. What's happening?
What's
happening?
Uncle Steve, what's up? I'm over here with some legends, man. What's happening? What's
happening with you, my friend?
Come on. We got to do it this year, man. Hey,
yes, sir.
I'm in Philadelphia. Monday Night Football. I'm in here with my chain on. I'm popping out. Let's do it, man.
Okay.
The fans better watch that.
Come
Zay,
on.
Zay, you not going to try to get to that Washington game and that a little bit closer?
It might be too cold out there.
Okay. Well, that's right.
That's like 16, Because I went when we played the Ravens, it was like 8 degrees out there. I'm not doing that ever again, bro. I ain't doing that ever again. But I love my team.
See, I'm Southern, so
yeah. You know, I represent this to the fullest, man. Love my birds, man. Love the Falcons, man. Come on, man. Let's do it,
man, brother.
But man, I see your YouTube channel growing, man. Keep going, my brother.
Appreciate
you doing your
hey,
thing, man.
You too, Smitty. Hey, shout out to you, Smitty, man. You doing your thing, using your platform to help everybody else, man. You're a real one, man. You're a real one.
Hey, that's what it's about, man.
Don't see that you do. People not picking up on the stuff that you're doing, but I see it. Real ones know about Smitty, man. Smitty
see it, they just don't like it.
Come
on, man. It's all good.
You gotta give him his flowers.
We're gonna keep on rolling anyway.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
10K anyway.
The biggest pressure on offensive defense for the Falcons, Zay, who you got?
Defense, Richie Grant. Me and A1 Forever, we on the same side.
Yeah, we there, man.
Offense.
Yeah, on that.
Who can I say offense? It's a lot of players, but it's hard to just pick one because I got a few. I really
just pick the biggest out of all of them.
Yeah, I want to say the whole wide receiver core, in my opinion. You get what I'm saying?
They're gonna be key.
Because I kept telling people the team that Arthur Smith, I just felt like you shouldn't have made this team a run first team and then you draft a tight end, then you draft a wide receiver. Like it don't make sense because there's only one football that goes around. You get what I'm saying? So it's just you trying to run the ball, but then you also gotta give them the ball too. So I just felt like trying to be a run team was where Arthur Smith messed up at. But it's all good. We moved on from it. We back to what the Atlanta Falcons is, a pass first team. So we gonna see. So most definitely.
Facts. But this has been another great show, man. We appreciate Squid Billy for dropping through. Squid Nation, man, stand up 92.9 the game. Y'all can catch him on in the mornings. But y'all know how we do it before we get out of here, man. Everybody shout out your channel. Before we get out of here, we're gonna start with Zay. And
Yes, sir.
we'll go around. Tell
Hey,
everybody
man,
what to find
like I
y'all.
said, the biggest Falcons fan of the 410 area. You get what I'm saying? Holding it down. You can follow me on Instagram at Zay in a Bag 0020. Twitter at Zay in a Bag. YouTube Zay in a Bag. And yeah, I'm just ready for the season, man. I'm trying there's some good things coming this year. So
hey,
come on,
y'all see,
do it.
y'all see he got his shades on already. It ain't even
Already.
already.
Yes.
But RJ, tell her where to find you, man.
Y'all can find me at RJ. I'm sorry. Y'all can find me on Twitter or X at my real name at Roster Heath Jr. Whatever type of breaking news, I'm gonna go ahead and share it on my feed, as well as Antoine Smith, Chris Tip Moore, and the other brother Berto. And my channel's like coming soon. So I get my laptop fixed, I'm gonna start getting my own content growing. So
That's what I'm talking
stay
about,
tuned.
Man. Big Travis, tell us where to find you, man.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RoAlpha79. That's RHOALPHA 79. Don't have a YouTube channel. I'm a YouTube watcher, so I'm gonna
stop
shout
telling
out
folks
you
our
guys.
age. Travis, stop telling folks our age, man. We
I don't have a YouTube channel, so I'm gonna shout out you guys. Everybody, y'all support these guys. They out here putting out good content. I had the opportunity to meet Chris in person. Great dude, doing his thing. Smitty, 10K the Smitty way, always.
Hey, that'll be soon. We
as
right
soon as
now.
you get a channel, I want to follow you, bro.
Appreciate
so, man, shout out to all y'all, man, and put out this content, man, because somebody got to do it, man. And for y'all to take the time out of y'all life, man, to put out this content, man. I salute each and every one of y'all, man.
Thank you,
Shout out to
brother.
Berto, man. Where you at, bro? Much love to you.
Man, Berto might be still at work.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Still at work properly. But hey, man, look, it's been a great show, man. Shout out to my boy DA for coming through. Mark Cheney for stopping in. My boy Uncle Steve, man, for stopping through, man. Uncle Steve Lounge, man. Y'all please go check him out, Uncle Steve Lounge. He has shows on Mondays, Fridays, and Sundays. So trust me, he's putting in the work as well. And hopefully, man, we'll get to see y'all, man. I forgot to talk about this the last time. But the Falcons canceled training camp. So I'm going to try to make the August the 2nd date at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Same.
Trust me, I would try to get a stabilizer, man, so I can shoot some video. Because all the people that support me, if y'all see me, if I'm there, please shout out me and holler at me. I have no problem with talking, and I have no problem with talking Falcon football, man. Because trust me, it's gonna be a crazy season, man. I already see it. When they cancel training camp, that lets me know it's gonna be a hell of a season. Trust me. But again, man,
reveal too much.
Tell everybody where to find you, man.
Hey, man, they don't want to reveal too much, but man, on X, man, A1 Forever. YouTube, of course, you can just like right here below my name, you can see A1 Forever Sports. Come on by, man. I just want everybody, like I've been saying, to continuously every day finding your peace. I need you to find your peace today. Positive energy always creates elevation. You can be generational because it's always time to be, and always you can have more when you have a vision. So
you got to change that name to Dr. Juice. Why you still got Tip up there?
I am Chris Tip Moore. And you can also find me on this guy. You find me on TikTok at the real A1 Forever, and also Instagram A1 Forever. My goodness, Yellow Smitty always acting up.
I bet Berto someone crying, laughing just because I just
said. I know. Just what you said.
That's an inside joke, but
inside as hell.
But hey, man, Chris, you put together a great show, man. I got to give you credit, man.
Absolutely.
Put together a great show, man. And Squid Billy, man, y'all go check him out on 92.9 The Game. What time is he on, Chris?
He's gonna be on about 7 o'clock in the morning if you're up. You know what I'm saying? I think they roll to about 9, 10 o'clock, something like that.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds about right. Shout out to our boy John Huggins, our boy Wally Smith, our boy DJ, and like I said, our boy Zay the Bad Man. Thank you for stopping through right quick.
Everybody.
But again, man, next week is gonna be a big week for all of us. On Monday, Chris has Bob Rathburn, Hawks play announcer. Tuesday, I have William Andrews, and then, hey man, we just gonna keep rolling on from there, man. Because trust me, we gotta keep moving, man. We gotta keep moving up, man. Giving y'all great content. And if it weren't for y'all, hey, trust me, we would not get these ideas. It's all because of y'all, and trust me, we always have y'all in mind when we putting together these shows. But
get your popcorn ready.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, Trevor. That's what I'm talking about. But again, man, trying to get y'all that dope outro, man. We're gonna get out of here and we're gonna roll. I'll let y'all later, man.